Hello and welcome back to The Wargamer, and in this quick tutorial I'll be showing you how you can paint skulls onto the helmets of your Space Marine Reivers, and I'll be using the Citadel range of paints to do so. Before we can begin painting the skull, we first of all need to make sure that the base colour of our helmet has been completed. This includes any washes, base coat or highlights that you want to apply. Personally, I would recommend going for a slightly darker colour scheme on your Reivers. This is for two reasons. First of all, the white skull will stand out much more against the dark background, but also the darker armour colour will give your Reivers a much more stealthy appearance. In this example, I've painted my Salamander Reivers in a much darker colour than the rest of my Salamander force. Once you have achieved your base colour, we can now begin working on the skull itself, and for this, I'll be starting off with a base coat of Celestra Grey. The first part of this application will see us painting the area below the eyes. This includes the nose, the mouth and also the cheekbones as well. We want to make sure that the entirety of these areas have the base coat of Celestra Grey. This second part of the application will see us painting the area above the eyes. I'll be starting from the brow and applying some vertical brush strokes going up the helmet. For both of these steps, I would recommend mixing in some water with your Celestra Grey, as this will make applying the paint much easier. A mixture of roughly 1 part paint to 1 part water should suffice. And here we have the completed base colour of Celestra Grey. As you can see, I've left the edges at the top of the helmet quite jagged. Now we want to apply a wash of Nuln Oil across the skull motif, as this will flow into those recesses and slightly darken down the colour, as well as bringing out those details. Applying the Nuln Oil straight out of the pot may be a little bit overpowering, so I recommend mixing in a small amount of water with it. The final step in painting our skulls is to use some white scar. Once again, this will be a 2-part step, with the first task to highlight the areas beneath the eyes. This includes the raised cheekbones and the individual teeth picked out on the mask as well. For the second step, I'll be painting the areas above the eyes in much the same way as we painted the Celestra Grey on the same area previously. Use the same vertical steps as before, but leave some of the darker Celestra Grey visible between the stripes. So that concludes this tutorial on painting the skull motifs onto the helmets of your Primaris Reivers, and here we have the completed Reiver. If you enjoyed this tutorial or have some suggestions for other freehand tutorials I can do in the future, please do let me know in the comments below, and also make sure you subscribe to be kept up to date with all of my future videos. Now, as always, I just want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. It's you guys who make all these tutorials possible. If you would also like to support me in making these videos, you can do so by checking out my Patreon page, which I'll include a link to in the description below. And from there, you can donate to me from as little as $1 a month, which will just really help me in producing future content. So all that's left to say is thanks for watching and goodbye.